Dion Arnold. I am the host, Dion Arnold, and today I have two special guests, and they're going to introduce themselves.
Hello everyone, I am Anaya Arnold, a sophomore plant science biotechnology major at the Fort Valley State University.
Okay, now, woo! The Fort Valley State University. And
hello everyone, I am Kimora Saeed, a first semester junior.
No, she did a first semester. Woo woo! A first semester junior. That's what I'm talking about. From where? What school?
At the Fort Valley State University.
The Fort Valley State University. We got two prominent Wildcats in the house, and today our topic is going to be transitioning from high school to college. Ladies, I want you to tell me your experience. It doesn't matter who goes first, but tell me, how did it feel transitioning from high school to college? It had to be amazing. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go first. That was just not so exciting. I'll go first.
I'll go first. I mean, it wasn't as exciting as you think it
wasn't.
was.
Oh my gosh! It wasn't. And why?
We had to quarantine.
Yeah,
it's coming out
COVID.
COVID.
That's
Big
right.
COVID.
You did transition in the most impactful time of the year, which was a pandemic.
Yeah.
And that had to be very emotional during that year of transitioning right in the middle of a pandemic. Express some of those emotions of how you felt knowing that a lot of things that you college students could have done, but being that a pandemic hit, it limits some of those activities or some of the things that could have taken.
Honestly, it really started the end of high school
Yeah.
year. Like we didn't have prom, we didn't have a proper
It was a bad
graduation.
note, yeah.
We didn't have. It was very like 2 weeks off. Oh no, 2 more weeks off.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, it's the whole
rest
rest
of
of
the
school
year.
off. And it's like,
Good.
dang. But then you come back and you go to college and it's not normal for real because you don't have homecoming,
Yeah.
you don't have other social events. Like it was.
So
it
did
was
they
a
modify
hard year.
anything?
I mean, it's like when we first got there, it was basically like being at home, but you had the option to go to some of your classes online, but it's like you weren't getting the full experience.
No.
Because they didn't have, like, they wouldn't host events, and if they did, like, because of social distancing and stuff like that, not a lot of people could come, and then sometimes, like, they would cancel things because of COVID.
Because of COVID. So let's take it back just a little bit with graduation. Like, how did that go for you all? Was something special added for your graduation? Did you do a drive-by that was created during that moment? Kind of elaborate on that, because I know that the class of 2022 that's coming up, they are kind of being impacted by it, but not as impacted as class of 2020.
Yeah, class of 22 was laughing at us, but not even too. But as far as graduation, it really was like you had to just do whatever to make the moment special, but also be safe at the same time because everybody was catching COVID, all that stuff. They ended up doing a graduation for us, and I didn't go to it.
I went to it.
Did you? How was it?
I wasn't going to go, but my mom encouraged me to go, and it was,
Did it leave some
okay.
kind of memory? Not really.
No, it was like the same kind of like the drive-through. It's just because at that point I was already over it. Like the time had passed. Like kind of like how prom was. They were talking about doing another prom, but I was like, the time when I would have wanted to do it is gone.
over.
So there's like no reason to do it again.
But I definitely still got
I
that dress in that
appreciate it.
closet. I
Yeah,
like to wear it.
Yeah, I know your mom
Dress
would like
like
for you to
more.
wear that dress. I'm pretty sure she spent a lot of money for you to get that dress made. Yeah, you might want to squeeze in it, get in it, zip it up. Come on, wear it for something. I'm gonna need. We ain't gonna elaborate on that one.
Please.
The pocketbook was pretty sad. So just moving on, as you were saying, like some of the events, got canceled in college, and you was basically having to quarantine. How long did that last with the first year of you going to school? Like, how did you feel going into a dorm with maybe 3 other students knowing that COVID was the way it was?
think about that.
I didn't think about it either.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know them.
Mhm.
I think I was just more excited that
To
I'm
leave.
actually going
Yeah.
to campus. Because, like, people like at the AUC Center, they didn't go back to campus. Like, Clark Atlanta, Spelman, Morehouse, they didn't go back. But we was actually able to be on campus. I think I was more so excited to actually be on the campus and be on my own, I guess you could say.
Oh, so
for the
on
first
your own. So how?
semester.
What was that like? Moving out of the nest and flying somewhat on your own. I know as a parent, for me, it was kind of emotional but happy at the same time, seeing my first born like going off to college and making her own decisions and getting into the dorm room and maybe having to call mom and dad but not as much, and going to parties, and it's like, are you safe? And I mean, how was that? Because you no longer are up on the rules per se. You have your own rules. Let y'all tell it. At the Fort Valley State University. Crickets! Crickets!
But wait, can you repeat the question actually?
She wants to know, like, how did that feel, like, when you went back, like, when you went to college, and you had to, like, basically kind of either strengthen your own morals and create your own rules for yourself.
I mean,
and how you go for yourself.
At one point, it was like, I don't know, it's just, in college, you really gotta find yourself because you can easily lose yourself. And if you don't find yourself and know who you are and who you are, quite often.
Uh-oh, Papa wisdom. Papa.
But it's like, if you don't know that, and if you don't already have, like, your set morals in your head, or set morals on, like, what you want for yourself and what you came to college for, you can easily get off balance or get off track.
That's
So,
good.
I mean, I would say, like, coming in freshman year, of course, it's like, oh, you have all this freedom, but then you have to realize how to actually use the freedom that you have and how to, like, balance when you want to go to a party or when you want to do your schoolwork, when you want to do this, when you want to do that. I guess it's just a level of balance and everything.
That's good. So what would you tell upcoming 2022 seniors that's going off for the first time? What would you inspire and tell them to keep them focused and on track, although they have a little bit more freedom going off to school now? You know,
ain't that much freedom, but we still in it.
I mean, well, you know,
It's not that bad because, like,
it's
our
not
last
that bad.
semester we actually did get to experience
yeah.
We did.
what, like, college has to offer. But in my opinion, I feel like it's all about who you meet and who you decide to continue to stay with. And then I feel like, you know, it's who you surround yourself with, not just how you govern yourself. I feel like if I have friends who prioritize their classes more than partying, then that's what we're gonna do. But if I have friends that more so want to party than they want to go to class, then that's what we're gonna do. I feel like if you don't find people who are like you, then you're not gonna stay.
The people in your atmosphere,
That's
because you're gonna attract who.
energy attracts energy. Yeah.
So I mean, if you're willing to succeed, but then also you know have fun, y'all are gonna do that.
Yeah.
I feel like
So
I
it's
like
basically
that.
getting down there, finding that connection. So that leads me into asking the next thing. How did you two girls meet? How did you two ladies meet? I won't say girls because you're young ladies now, but you always gonna be my girls and my babies. But how did you two mesh so well?
It was actually
Because you really know, like, going to college, you know, it's very hard for females really to mesh.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's
is.
that's like the number one drama that goes on. So you know, it's really hard for that meshing, and to really get into college and mesh and to be able to find a lifelong friend out of it is really wonderful.
Yeah.
So like, how did that all come about?
how we all met? Okay, well, it's really like I would say like a group of us.
Okay.
But we
But maybe we can bring them on at a later time so we can have the whole. Yeah, have a clique name, a little gang.
I mean, it's not necessarily a clique.
Okay.
But
Well,
it's just-
I threw that in there, so I'm glad to know y'all don't categorize yourself as a clique.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
no.
necessarily clique because we all have like we're all friends, but then we all have
people
other
were
friends,
closer
yeah,
to.
other
Okay.
friends as well.
So that's good.
But I would say for me and Kimura, how we met, we actually went to the same high school, but we didn't talk at high school because like
That had to be
it's like I would see her around school, but we never would like say anything to each other. It wasn't until we got to college and I found out she was going to Fort Valley, and then we said hey when we was moving in, and then I realized she stayed down the hall from me, like literally at the end of the hall from me, and I stayed at the beginning of the hall. And we met through Nevi, because Nevi
Okay.
knew Kimura, and so.
So we'll have to bring Nevi on the show next,
Yeah.
so she can get in on.
I don't know what happened after that. It
I
was just
know,
history
either,
after that.
like-
Like after we met through Nevi our freshman week, it
So
was
it's
just
just like that energy,
we were just
like that
hanging out
space
all the
there.
time.
Freshman orientation. Not a lot of people go to freshman orientation, but I feel like that's like how you meet the people in your building.
That's really what
Mhm.
every freshman should honestly go to freshman orientation. Like freshmen out there, if you're watching this, you need to go to freshman orientation because
So you found
you
that
really
helpful.
meet other people. You meet more people outside of just the people who's in your living space, and that's really good to do because not all the time your roommates are gonna be your friends. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, that's definitely true because I have some roommate horror stories, but good grief, we won't go into all of that. we gonna keep this going as it is because I love how the energy mesh between the two and it flooded out into more. So now,
Now we're roommates.
Exactly.
yeah, also your roommates now.
We're roommates,
Yeah.
and then one of my roommates from like freshman year is our roommate too, and then we have another roommate. It's 4 of us.
Okay, so that is really, really good. So outside of the freshman orientation, meshing with the roommates, just getting to college and getting settled in, what more could you share with us before we go into ending this segment and going into a next one? What would you want to leave behind that for whoever is watching, it will resonate and they can take it with them?
I would say, okay, so from my standpoint, I would say get involved on the campus. Especially if, well, no matter what, if you go to HBCU or PWI, it don't matter. If you get involved and you actually go out to the events that the campus is holding or the different organizations are holding, or if you actually like come talk with people, you will meet more people. You will meet lifelong friends. Like it's a different experience. You have a funner experience in college if you're more involved and more open, I guess you would say. Because if you just stay in your room or if you close off, then that's of course when the conversation's like, oh, this is boring, blase, blase. But college is honestly what you make it. It's really what you make it. And also stay focused because you can easily get behind. So staying focused and getting involved would be the number 2 things that I would say. What about you?
I agree with that. It's like kind of the same premise, but I would just say get out. Like for me, I had a big problem with leaving my dorm. Like I was in my dorm all day, and it took them sometimes having to like make me come out the room to actually see what the campus has to offer. Because even if it's just like going to the library or going to the caf, like that's how you meet people. That's how you decide what you want to get into, what you want to get involved into. And like our friend, she's from Florida. Like she doesn't know anybody in Georgia, but like the first few weeks, that's how I met her personally. The first few weeks we were there, I would always see her out and like walking around, even though she had nobody to talk to and she was with nobody. So I just feel like that's important.
Yeah, it's how you meet real good friends. Like you meet a lot of people just by getting out and talking to people, just saying hey, like how you doing.
So really just
Walking
basically
down the
being friendly and not, I guess, I know this is probably not a good word, like being antisocial, just trying to make the best
being
of
friendly,
it.
like trying to actually make the best of what college
Make the
has
best
to
of,
offer.
and that's really good. That's good to hear, and that's a good concept coming from you ladies. That was really good. I like that. So I thank you all for tuning in to the first episode of Real Talk with the Health Coach Dion Arnold. We will resume with our second episode. So until then, stay safe and wear your mask.